All right. Resuming now.
All right, now we are back. We had to take a piss break for special guest John Garcia, but now we have
Our bladders are empty and we are ready to go.
and our minds are full. Oh my god.
So actually, we told a lie. We said we were going to talk about Bleach this week, but it doesn't seem to be the case.
Because I love lying to you guys.
No, there's just so much to talk about when it concerns Naruto, and we don't really want to stop talking about it at this point. So,
And we missed 3 weeks of discussion. Like, this is kind of like...
It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
But we hope you guys enjoy Naruto a lot. So here we go. Continuing.
All right. Before we went on break, my boy here, Alex, mentioned that he had some interesting stuff to talk about. So, Alex?
Ooh, mysterious.
Right. So I had questions. No, not mysterious. Just I had a question to ask that I figured would probably spark a pretty long discussion in general. But so in Naruto, right, a lot of things have been happening that have gotten a lot of us upset. What are the key things, the key developments that you really, really dislike and wish that would have changed? You could either suggest the way it could have gone, or just generally talk about how you really, really didn't like a certain development that just felt either really out of place or unstrategic in a narrative sort of sense.
Okay, I'm actually going to go really far back on this one. And I'm going to go with how Sasuke just came up on the Eternal Mangekyo like that. I feel like that was cool, and like what Itachi did for him was excellent, and it was really good storytelling, and it was really good like character development, especially for Sasuke to find out that like Itachi really loves him at the end. But
Wait, it wasn't eternal back then, though.
it was what?
Oh yeah,
It wasn't
right.
eternal yet.
Yeah,
No, when
he
he got the eye?
he got the
He just got the
Amaterasu.
Mangekyo back then.
Wait, no, that's what he's just said. He doesn't like that he got Mangekyo. That's what he said, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said eternal Mangekyo.
Did I say Eternal?
Oh yeah, I think he did.
Okay, I did say Eternal.
Yeah.
But isn't that how he got Eternal anyway?
No,
From
he
getting
got,
Itachi's
he got
eyes?
Eternal because they transplanted Itachi's eyes into his own eyes.
Yeah, that's how he got Eternal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
I thought you were talking about when Itachi like gave him the Mangekyo. He awoke. Oh, no, he gave him something.
No,
Before Itachi died,
he
said
said he gave him his techniques. He gave him Susanoo,
And
Amaterasu,
Amaterasu, yeah.
and Tsukiyomi.
That
he had Mangekyo then, right? That means Mangekyo.
No, I think Mangekyo is the point where the eye shape changes, and he didn't get that until he reaffirmed his belief and redirected all his anger towards Konoha. And so he built his team, the Hawk team,
Yeah.
and then you see it for the first time. He's got those eyes, which is like a weird Jewish star looking.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Star of David.
Which was just Mangekyo, but he basically got it because he killed Itachi.
Yeah, he
how
killed
you
his
get it.
best friend. That's how you get it. You kill your best friend.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so him getting the manga kill, it's like, all right, you killed Itachi and you got the manga kill. I thought it was kind of whack that like Itachi was like, oh, here's all my 3 strongest and ridiculous techniques, just like that. Enjoy. Like,
Well, but he did beat him though. He succeeded in beating him, and he killed him, and that's the criteria.
yeah. Although Itachi pretty much let himself lose, but we will get.
Oh, you know what? Yeah,
technicalities.
I just remember too. Like, there's this whole thing that was constantly being referred to in that combat sequence where it's like Itachi seems a little sick. He's sick with something. It seems like he's terminal. What's going on with it? He can't fight at his full power.
I think he was terminal, right?
Right,
dying,
but
yeah.
it never got touched on. I really wish I knew what the hell happened to him.
He was
Was
just
he
dying.
did he just have cancer? Or was it like did he sacrifice himself for some greater cause, like, where he had to put himself in a sort of situation?
I think it was ninja cancer, dog.
Ninja cancer. That's what I'm saying though. That
was ninja AIDS.
Narratively speaking, that's like there's potential there, and it sucks that it wasn't sought after. Because they were talking about how Itachi kind of knew that Madara was like behind the shadows, right?
Yeah.
Like no one knew, but Itachi somehow knew, and it would have been more interesting
Because
if,
Itachi read the stone.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if Itachi had, put himself in a dangerous circumstance to prevent something, and that was the sort of like consequence or something. There's something interesting there
That he could have potentially explored.
Yeah,
but he just decided to just be like, oh, he's sick.
Yeah, he's just sick. Yeah, no, I felt like without a doubt, I thought that he's saying that he's sick because there's something else about it. I thought, because I mean, usually that's what you do in these stories, right? Is like when you refer to these things, there's a reason it's happening.
Hint. reveal, like, you know, like, I get you.
What was it really never revealed?
Yeah, how you say?
Not the reason why.
Dude,
he was
as far as I know, he had like leukemia in his chakra, so like his chakra had cancer, and like he died.
I thought I had heard about it once.
He had swine flu, dude. Because I think swine flu was kind of big right at that time when the chapter was
Maybe.
Maybe it was like broken heart or something stupid.
a broken heart.
No,
I mean, he fucked, dude. Oh my god, all the shit that he did. Like, who can do that?
Yeah, and
Like,
still
your humanity's gone like so far, and he had to like put up this facade for his whole life, basically. I don't know.
And he was
maybe
like,
maybe it was just like
the ultimate
that kind of
sacrifice, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of like not Leia, but what's her mom's name? Padme. Yeah, it's just like
except
I've
not
got no will to live anymore.
Yeah.
And so she
Oh my
just
god!
like,
Don't even talk about it. Star Wars prequels. Don't get me started.
That's Pandora's box there for John.
Yeah, that's gonna take this podcast into
a totally different.
But okay, so that's so basically your
next
development was
it's like even okay, so he gets the manga kill. That's like, all right, you got the manga kill. That's a big deal. Blah blah blah. But even with the manga kill, you could tell that, or like it was shown later that he was still struggling with fighting a lot of people. But then
he started going blind.
Yeah, exactly. And like his body was getting destroyed from using Sasuno and stuff. And then it was like, oh, well, you already have all these OP techniques, but you kind of are a dumbass about using them. So I'm just going to give you your brother's eyes, and you're going to still be a dumbass about using them, but have no consequences. I thought that was kind of just like, dude, like,
I don't know. I mean, I didn't really have an issue with that because that was established. Like, those were the sort of ground rules that existed before all that stuff happened.
You had to kill your best friend and take
like,
your brother's eyes.
it was a lot more easier to accept, I feel like. What I kind of thought was weird, now that I'm thinking about it now, is like, he should have accepted Itachi's eyes in the first place. But I mean, I think I remember what he said was like, I need to be able to see the world with my own eyes and not through the eyes of my brother.
And that changed. Like,
I guess, yeah, exactly. I think that is mainly more of a problem than anything else. Is thematically speaking, he didn't undergo anything that actually changed his mind to decide to look at the world through a more mature or pacifist eyes, right? Like he didn't change his belief system. So basically, he accepted the power because he was too weak.
Yeah.
Right? Which I guess is also kind of characteristic of him, right? Is because his whole thing was like, I'm weak, I'm not strong enough to get all the things I want, you know? Like, I can't kill Itachi because I'm so weak, I need to follow in Orochimaru's footsteps and throw away all my friendships in order to get stronger. But, like, it seemed like that wasn't what he needed at that point, right? What he needed more than anything was to understand why Itachi did what he did and accept the fact that that was the more noble way of doing things. And that's what Itachi wanted for him.
Like, what Itachi did for him is a greater gift than his actual eyes.
Right.
But what ended up happening is that, like, his eyes was the greatest gift that Sasuke received.
It was unfortunate, and I think that is part of the beauty of the series, is that it's like, you plan for these things and you try to do things for the people you love in a way that, you know, hopefully will shape them into a healthy lifestyle. Like, I'm sure, like, Itachi, I'm sure, likes Naruto a lot. Right?
Yeah, he does.
Kind of like how, like, you know, some moms like certain boyfriends.
Yeah, or like...
Cause it's like but yeah, it's like Itachi approves of Naruto because that's what he wanted for his little brother. He wanted to make sure he had a happy life.
Yeah,
but
and Naruto
but
was
he
away.
couldn't... There's nothing he could do about the fact that ultimately killing his entire family and making him believe that he did that would shape Uchiha Sasuke into what he is, which is basically an Avenger, as he calls himself. So... yeah, that's part of the reality of it. But yeah, what's up?
You have anything to
I don't know. That's I think now I'm thinking about this whole Sasuke arc. And basically from the time where he learned the truth till he decided to be a good guy, like, you know, this year.
Yeah. Just for no reason.
Yeah. What was the point of everything in between then? I think if he was going to make up his mind, it should have been back then to be a good guy. Like,
right after the great reveal.
What was preventing? What was such a struggle for him to realize that, okay, actually, these, like, Konoha, they're shit, but that's the old generation. Like, it's not like that anymore. I have
actual friends to care about.
Yeah, I have friends.
Yeah.
My brother did this for me. Like, I matter. I'm strong. I can make a difference.
I can protect.
What the fuck was the point of everything in between him learning the truth and finally he decided?
No, this was what I was saying, man. It's like, I think that Kishi was preparing and projecting for a much, much longer series. Like, I feel like if he wanted to, this series probably could go for at least another 7 years. Like, without stretching anything.
Well,
you
5
know?
or 6.
I feel like he could have done 7 or 8, but it's just like, it's for sure there's a huge chunk of it missing, because what he really wanted to do was create a real heavy sort of struggle for Naruto to be able to actually change Sasuke's mind. And I felt like the whole thing was like planning for a huge confrontation between the two again. For decades. At the waterfall where Madara's statue and Hashirama's statue is, they were supposed to go back there and have a reunion battle, basically there after having developed. And that fucking never got addressed. Like, that was such a bummer that never hit again. It's like they haven't fought since before Shippuden, right? Or I guess they kind of clashed. They clashed fists at one point.
But it wasn't really anything,
though. Yeah,
it was like, whoa, bro, like, you're here? Like,
no, it was obvious that he was planning for that, because back there, Toby, before he stops the battle, he's like, oh, I'm very interested in seeing this battle between Naruto and Sasuke. I can't wait. It's going to be very interesting. And so it's very obvious to me that he was planning for a very drawn out sort of outer manifestation of Sasuke's inner struggles to actually change who he is, because I think I had to appreciate Kishi in his artistic not need or desire, but I don't know. I feel like he really wanted to make us feel how difficult it can be to actually really change someone. You know what I mean? And I think that's why he made it such a difficult task in the beginning. But I think he wasn't really able to go beyond that anymore. He wasn't. He lacked the time and the ability to organize these thoughts, and so he just kind of had to finish it up, and so he just decided to.
That's what Madara was, which let me explain like what I think about that. Like, it was just another annoying thing, because going back to what John was saying, like, what happened between there that was like all that shit that happened between like him getting the great reveal from Itachi to him saying, no, I'll help you fight Madara, was total bullshit. Because what I think about it is, like, up till that point he was like, no, like, Naruto's pretty much top dog in our universe, and I can take him out. So I'm gonna be a bad guy. But then once he ran into, like, a Madara character, right? And he was like, shit. Or no, it wasn't even Madara at that point, was it? Was it Toby or Obito? Like,
it was Toby, but then I think he thought he was Madara.
Because it was like Obito there, and then Sasuke showed up? Or was Madara there?
No, it was Toby, Obito, but Obito told Sasuke he was Madara.
No, I'm talking about at the war part.
What about the war part?
What? When Sasuke shows up to the fight with Orochimaru.
Yeah.
Who was there? Was it Madara? Was Madara revealed yet?
Yeah, Madara.
Yeah, okay, so it was Madara, like, and Toby were both standing there, right?
Yeah.
So, like, when he comes up to this fight and he sees that, like, Madara's there, and he listens to Orochimaru's explanation of, like, the situation, he realizes, alright, like, Madara is not someone that I can just, like, beat without Naruto. Like, I can't just, like, make 2 enemies here. So we have to take out Madara first, and then I can do my beef with Naruto and see what happens there. Like, so I feel like Madara was the great, like, huge conflict like that you were talking about. And I don't really have anything to say about him stretching the series out to 7-8 years. I will, maybe not, you know. But, like, the whole, like, Madara coming out was like, oh, like, I can't beat him, so I have to be a good guy now. Dude, and that was whack to me, like.
This series could have easily, in my opinion, been stretched out for that long, for 7 to 8 years, because it was missing, in my opinion, very, very key arcs that would take probably a year or 2 to finish, to conclude. Like,
not to mention the war was extremely short. Like,
yeah, and God, man, the war should have been, like, I would give 4 years to get to the war and 4 years for the war itself. But like, I think that what needed to occur after some of this stuff, maybe like the Kage Summit, is like an arc strictly about the tales, all the hosts of the tales and the tales themselves. And it should have been there should have been something about the whole thing centering around them fighting for control of the tails. Either the country's fighting for the control of the tails, Naruto in his attempt to maintain peace and control not only the tails in general, but the tail within himself, the nine tails. And I don't know, there should have been a huge sort of like rescue, protect arc. It's similar in the way that, remember how Gaara was initially captured? There should have been something similar to that for Naruto, I felt like. And that could have taken 2 years. And within that time span, Kishi could have explored the whole thing with Sasuke still, about him having this sort of like inner turmoil and not being able to see beyond the fact that he has a potentially happy life.
Yeah.
Right? But he's just like so hung up on the reality of his own life that it's just like so completely unfair that everything was stripped away from him that he really, really cared about.
That he doesn't want
that he just can't accept it. And so it's like what they were saying is like Naruto was saying how like when we clash fists together, that's when we can suddenly understand who we are. And like that's what should have been built up to before the war actually began. I think that harmony needed to be fixed so that they can go together to fight whatever it was. Or maybe it could have just colluded into the war itself. Yeah. And maybe like midpoint in the war, that's when the huge Naruto and Sasuke battle happens. Yeah. They get together and they fight Madara together. That seems like it could have been
like a 4-year war arc. Like, cause the war arc, like honestly, like the war coming and the war happening was such like a huge ass shit. Like a war involving all those nations and all those people uniting against one enemy. Like that's like huge. Like they all freaking hated each other up till then.
Dude, so much potential wasted, man. Like I wanted to see, like, could you imagine a rematch of Gaara without his Shikaku inside him versus an immortal Deidara. Yeah. Like that I think would have been such a crowd pleaser. Yeah. And to see Gaara actually able to defeat him. And in like Kanjuro, the puppeteer master fighting freaking Sasori, that would have been epic. Like him coming back and saying like, look, I've like been training over the past whatever years, and I'm going to take on this immortal Amaterasu.
It'll bring out the characters that we once like had a somewhat attachment to, like,
right? But who got lost in the sort of process, and they would be back again, right? It's like it's really, really unfortunate.
And like this war is like supposed to like be like extremely painful for all those nations and an extreme struggle for everyone involved. But considering how short the arc was, and we're not even like reading this chapter by chapter, we're reading this in like waiting every week for a chapter, and it was short. Like what? Like that was not even a war. That was like a skirmish, and now like the big players are doing their thing. Like,
indeed, and you know how cool it would have been if, because Orochimaru is like kind of like good now, right? Which I kind of think is a little. I'm not sure if that.
I don't know what the fuck he's doing, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I just
how is he still alive?
I just marked him off as like the ultimate like person that wants to attain knowledge, like not even like take over the world or anything. He just wants to know everything, like all the secrets to all the universe.
But I mean, like, you know what would have been cool in the war is a freaking Sannin and the three working together to fight whatever it is they need to fight. Yeah. That would have been also freaking cool to see. Yeah. Tsunade with Sakura, Jiraiya immortal with Naruto, and then I don't know if I would want to see Sasuke working with, maybe Sasuke would work with Itachi instead, I don't know. Or Itachi and Kakashi together or something to fight some big immortal dude. And dude, the Hanzo battle was so bad. Yeah. Hanzo was this guy, this like super
he was like
badass,
the craziest,
that like was built up for like such a long time, and his battle was so weak. It was so weak, in fact, that I don't remember what happened.
He loses to the samurai guy.
That's so dumb,
I remember he summoned an elephant.
Oh, no, it was the clam. Remember? He summons the clam that spits the poison.
But there should have been a dedicated like 20 chapters to that battle, dude. Like I used to, man, I love that.
Oh no, the salamander. He summons a salamander that spits poison.
It's the water salamander thing. Yeah. But yeah, man, the war arc could have been 4 years long, and everything building up to it should have been 4 years divided, so 2 years per arc. I think there are two very substantial arcs.
And I wouldn't even have grown tired of Naruto in that period. I would still just be a devoted disciple.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But I mean, going all the way back to what we were talking about, John, with you saying that it's like, what was the purpose of all that stuff with Sasuke's inner turmoil? I feel like he was building all of that up for something else. And ultimately, he never got around to it, unfortunately.
I think, let's see. I like everything up. I'll accept everything up until the Kage Summit, I can accept that Sasuke wanted to destroy Konoha
Danzo.
and Danzo.
Danzo.
But like the thing is, the reason why I mentioned earlier why it would seem like a waste is because like you said, it never really amounted to anything.
Yeah.
It just was. He was kind of dicking around. Well, not dicking around, but he was just.
He was dicking around.
I don't know, and it was not really. There was no payoff to his turn back to good. I would have had it so that he went full, just fucking evil. If Kishi truly wanted to go that route, stick to it and commit to it.
Instead of bringing in a Kaguya player, they could have gone with like Sasuke is the ultimate enemy here, and like Sasuke got really strong with all this bullshit.
I don't think so. I mean,
dude, honestly, I am so disappointed that he brought in Kaguya. Like, I feel like that's like, dude, like, no.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
he was planning that from the beginning.
He totally was.
Yeah,
he totally was. But and I thought, oh god, like,
it's too bad because
I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure if he was because I mean I felt like when the Sage of the Six Paths was introduced, that really did feel like the most conclusive thing about the whole thing. It's like the guy created ninjutsu itself, and I felt like he probably did have some sort of idea that was what's going to happen. But I think somewhere along the line, which took about 2 to 3 years since then, it's like he decided to ante up even more, which was, I think, the mistake. But I don't necessarily think he had that plan, like, from the get-go.
Because how I think about it is that, like, he was never going to use the Sage of Six Paths as an enemy in the story. Like, the Sage of Six Paths was like the ultimate good guy, you know? Like, so, in order for... And I knew that he was going to tie in the Sage of Six Paths at some point in the story. Like, he had talked about him too much. Like, Sage of Six Paths was totally going to come up because, like, everything they talked about is like, oh, we don't really believe he exists. He's only a legend. He's only a myth, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I knew he was going to bring him back. But to bring him back and have him not be a bad guy would have been, like, a waste in, like, Kishi's mind, I guess. So he threw in a Kaguya character to be like, oh, even worse. Like,
yeah, but I feel like Madara was just... I think he was intending for Madara to be... Or I think he was intending the Jubi to be the main bad guy. But I think what the... And then Jubi with Madara together. But, yeah. I mean, I think part of the reason why it... I think a lot of the sort of chaos that existed was that I think with the thing between Naruto and Sasuke, right? The sort of like Naruto being able to fix a really, really just fucked in the head sort of like evil dude and repair him into good, I think was similar to what he was trying to do with Kyuubi, right? Because he wanted to prove that Kishi wanted to prove that Naruto, the character, was just, I think the purity of intention would be able to even fix the Kyuubi, and he did get there, right? But I would say kind of mildly like unsatisfactory. Yeah. But he did manage to get there, and I think that it would have left. I think he felt it would have left a bad taste in the reader's mouth for the Kyuubi to be taken from Naruto, because that would be a necessity to have the Jubi, right? And he kind of goes about it in a very sort of weird way. But he only takes he
worked around that.
Yeah, he only takes like a little bit of it and still manages to get the Jubi, which makes no logical sense whatsoever. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like that's what he was struggling with as well. And that's part of the reason why he wasn't able to make that decision go all the way with that.
Quick question though. Did Minato ever give up the other half?
Yeah, he gave it to Naruto, I think, at some point.
He did?
Yeah, because, what happens is Madara takes the Kyuubi out of Naruto, and Minato gives his other half to Naruto.
Through Obito, right?
And then, but then Obito takes back the Kyuubi again, and now I think Naruto has
the full
majority of the Kyuubi. Okay. But I mean, obviously the Kyuubi is still a little bit of the chocolate is probably still in the other guy. So,
but I thought that at this point Naruto had all the tailed beasts inside of him.
He does. He has like little bits of everyone. He doesn't have the whole thing. He just makes no freaking sense whatsoever. But
all right. It's kind of poopy.
I think where it is now, honestly, he probably planned since at least the Shippuden shift. Because if he was planning to have Madara like awaken the infinite Tsukiyomi, you don't just last minute decide, okay, how about Kaguya is gonna come? I think
he feels pretty freaking last minute though to me. Don't you think?
It's poorly executed, but I don't think it was like last minute at all. I think this was bound to happen.
I think that when he first introduced Infinite Tsukiyomi at the Kage Summit, that was going to be Madara's master plan. But like as he kept writing the story, he was like, "Hold up, like maybe I could throw in some extra shit."
I feel like that's kind of what happened too, because it's just like he was building up to it too well, in too acceptable of a manner. I feel like everything
was going too smoothly.
Yeah, I felt like he did. It felt. I don't know. I mean, I guess the only way you could really know is to ask him. But personally, I feel like he kind of threw it in there. Maybe like 100 or 200, maybe 150 chapters ago, he just randomly it started formulating, and
he was like taking a shit one day.
Kaguya, shit, like.
Yeah, he was.
I hope that's how it
Dude, he was probably just like looking through all the different types of Japanese mythology, and because I mean, he obviously draws upon it a lot to create this series. And then at one point, he probably came across the Kaguya character from mythology and was like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute,
I didn't use this one yet."
Yeah, I don't know,
but I think we can all agree. Well, we all agree when it started to turn sour.
Yeah,
maybe just certain details. I like the thought of like an extra 4 years devoted to some like pre-war or like just like all the whole Tail Beast stuff. More focus on that.
Yeah, I mean he even created designs for all those characters, and some of them looked really cool.
Yeah,
you know, it's just
they were their own characters.
I thought
they weren't just dudes.
And I was saying like earlier, right? Like I've said this before a long time ago. Whenever I've talked to you guys about Naruto, but a key moment that I think would have been so great. I mean, not great in the sense that great for the characters, but like great dramatically speaking, is Killer B, dude, should have sacrificed himself in an attempt to save Naruto from Madara, and he should have got his 8-tail sucked out of him,
instead
and he
of the
should have
9
died.
tails. Yeah,
And that would have been so, just like, it would have been so big and emotional that it would have been one of those things that would push Naruto even further.
Because
to develop.
Killer B totally degaffed about everything. Like he didn't care. Like he didn't even stay at the village. Like he was in his own little place, just chilling with the Hachibi all the time. He like totally ran away from the Sasuke fight when like the Amaterasu was used. He like totally like ran away.
Gave
from
up
him.
a tentacle just to run away.
Yeah, like he totally didn't care. So him like. It would go along with the whole like Naruto changes everyone. Like he would like sacrifice
care about
life,
him. Yeah, he's kind of like the drunkard Han Solo-ish kind of character in the sense that he doesn't care about anyone. But no, it's like no, it would have been just so great because he was like a key mentor in the sense that he was the only one out of all the tail Jinchuriki, right, to actually control his own Jinchuriki, and not just a regular one. It's the 8th one, which is the second strongest. And so for him to teach Naruto all the way and then to sacrifice himself so that Naruto could escape from Madara would have been very powerful, I feel like.
And not only was he like the only like Jinchuriki to control it and like share that with Naruto, of all like Naruto's instructors, he was the only one that could legit teach him about how to fuck with the Kyuubi, you know? Like Yamato can like, oh, I can kind of suppress him a little. No, he's too strong for me. Stop. But like,
he's the only one who actually understands. Could even really say
like,
how it's possible. Yeah.
Like, no, you're training wrong. You have to do it like this. Like, everyone else everything that everyone else that like trained him about when it came to the QB was all speculation. Like, oh, I think this is how it works. Like he. Good point, Alex. I hadn't thought about that for a long time.
Wait, when Pain came to attack Konoha, I think all 7 tails had already been taken by by the Akatsuki, right?
Because they had taken the little tail chunk of Hachibi, and that was apparently enough. And then they had
which is bullshit.
Yeah, and then they only needed Naruto at that point. That's what was going on.
Yeah, man. I think Sasuke sort of prevailed in capturing Naruto during the war arc, and then mainly because Naruto probably just did some sort of self-sacrificing move.
Stupid shit. I'm gonna scratch your headband.
In which Sasuke proves that he is really evil because he was willing to not only kill his oldest best friend, but to not even acknowledge the fact that Naruto did the self-sacrificing thing in order to protect other people, but puts himself in danger. He gets knocked out. And then I think the Kyuubi should have been extracted out of the motherfucker. And he should have been on the deathbed, similar to what happened here in the war, but in a much more dramatically built up way.
Yeah.
And he comes back because Sasuke chooses to fix it, because when he actually acknowledges the fact that the one guy who actually cared about him from the very beginning, he's going to kill him. That's the thing that could have changed his heart, you know? It's like this stuff was like
'Cause-
really, really brilliant. I feel like should have been in there, but
The other person that really, really cared about him his entire life, he killed that person, and it was a mistake.
it was a mistake, right? So he should have
So-
learned from the fucking
And
mistake.
he's like
but
about to
it's
kill
like,
Naruto, and he's like, hold
it's
on,
like,
I can't do
yeah,
it twice.
yeah.
Like, damn, Alex! Hey, we're firing Kishi right now, alright? Alex Nada's gonna be the new narrator or the new author of this series, dude.
It's like, no, I feel like it's unfortunate, but I feel like this is the stuff that he was building up to. And I think it was somewhere in there. He just wasn't given the time to be able to make it happen, you know?
And I think he also did like bit off more than he can chew thing. Like I keep going back to that. Like he had enough characters and enough story there, but he kept wanting to bring in other shit. Like, oh, what if I put in this? Like, think about how cool that would be. And like that's when like Madara came in, this person came in. Oh my god, stop.
Yeah, dude, it just sucks, man. It's like, it's just the way the world, like, that's what they say, like, death of the art, birth of the business, right? Naruto became too much of a business, in my opinion. And so he wasn't able to stop the train and recuperate and think about what he needed to do, right? Which I think I have to commend Oda for, right? Because, like, I think everyone bitches about how much, like, hiatus breaks Oda takes, but I think he actually is
I
never
influential.
He's got his game plan.
Dude, he's influential enough to be able to say, hey, man, I don't feel like doing it. I need to, like, take the time to think about it. And so he does. And then
and he comes out with
consequently,
solid
it's like,
material
yeah.
every week. Like,
And I just wish that, you know, I really, really, really wish Kishi was able to do that with Naruto. It's very unfortunate.
I really wish that like Oda gave him a call. I was like, "Are you sure you don't want to take like
Oh my
half
God.
a year break?" I was like, I think
Or
we should
at
take
least,
a break,
like, do,
bro.
like, the 6-week one that he kind of did, right?
Yeah, the
He's like
6 week one would be
on-
like a hugest difference, really. Like
Yeah.
it would,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah, it's a, but yeah. So anyway, so that's a long tangent. John, was that your answer to the question? Did you?
Yeah, I agree, by and large. I'm thinking about because we all agree on when things started to go sour, but what if the series like ended there?
Ended where?
What if he had just ended it after like what if he didn't revive Konoha? Right? Konoha just is dead. Okay, which fucking should have been, all right?
Pain was the ultimate element.
Sasuke just realized this insane like
Dude, just,
revelation.
Yeah.
And then
Pain
there's
was the
some-
ultimate
there-
enemy.
I think, yeah, pain was the ultimate enemy, and I think there's some way you could spin it to where you can get a satisfying ending soon after that. Just because, like, look, Naruto became essentially the Hokage at that point.
Yeah.
Sasuke made at least some peace, or he achieved some peace with his arc, which is what we cared about, right?
Huh.
And they both, like, that was kind of like the penultimate moment for them. I don't know. I think there's a way that he could have spun it to where if he really wanted to, he could have tried to end it there.
Or
But
like-
he got ambitious and it just or maybe there was too much setup, like the train was going too quickly or too fast, full steam ahead. He couldn't stop it. But that, you know,
I feel like
those were the good ending moments for their arcs in Shippuden.
I could kind of understand what you're saying. I think ultimately though it would have been a little unsatisfying. I understand. I understand what you're saying in the sense that their sort of like desires were concluded, right? But like, I don't know. There's something off about it. I feel like just hearing that makes me sad a little bit.
Well, that's because you
Like,
know all this shit up till now.
But
I guess.
but
if it ended there at that
look,
time,
look how perfect of an ending that would have been. I mean, of course you had to change some certain things, and it would end
like
just soon after that. That's what I'm saying. Is like, what if it ended soon after that? Now we didn't have to struggle through
like within one
4
more
years
arc.
of what's been happening.
Yeah.
Within one more arc, if they had ended it right there, like maybe like done like still done the Naruto Sasuke fight just for shits and gigs, like not say that like Black Zetsu was like the main bad guy, like, not go ham with the Tobi Obito Madara shit. Like he could totally have ended it there. Like I agree. That would have been
The
like
only reason. Wait, go ahead.
that would have been like it wouldn't have like tied up all the loose ends, but it would have tied up all the major plot points, like all the things that mattered up till that point, all the things in that story that were the main points of that story would have been tied up.
This is given that Toby the character was never within the series, right?
Right. I guess that's
you
what
would
I
have
mean,
to you
is
would be
like,
out of the series. Yeah.
But then there would have maybe have been.
But then up to that point, he never really was in the series. Like he didn't do much.
No, but I mean, it was already foreshadowed that he was the bigger picture. I think in story writing, we refer to it as the iceberg, right? Like you always have this idea of what the main enemy is, but the iceberg is much larger underneath, right? Like I remember very specifically, there's a panel where it's like there's a lightning bolt shooting, and you just see Toby, and you just see this malice within his eye that you see, and it's like, oh fuck. He's got control over even pain, man. He's like pulling all the strings. So I mean, that would have to go if we wanted to conclude it for sure. We couldn't allude to any other sort of like bigger picture stuff whatsoever.
Yeah, I know.
It's a good point though, John. I think you are onto something.
The only reason I ask it is because there was some like blog question on Manga Stream about like, oh, should Bleach have ended after Aizen was defeated? And that's like an interesting question, and I think that if you could apply that to Naruto, that would be the most, the best place to sort of end it. And actually, a lot of manga end sort of abruptly. Like, look at Dragon Ball. It ended so abruptly, one could argue. At least the manga, not the anime.
Yeah, all evil in the universe was gone. Like, what?
No,
yeah.
No, it wasn't. All evil wasn't gone. The
I mean,
ending
Boo was dead, and 10 years later, you end the series. Like, you have a 10 years later flash forward, and then he ended the series.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't Boo the manifestation of all evil in that universe anyway?
No. That's not, no. It's, Oob is born, and then Goku decides he needs to train him because what he explicitly says is, I'm not going to be around forever, and this world actually needs its own savior, in the sense that he was a Saiyan, and so he felt like he didn't deserve to protect the Earth over and over and over again, and the Earth needs its own savior, and Oob was an actual human being. And so he decides to train Oob to protect the Earth from anything else because there's going to be even bigger things, is what he says. And that's how they conclude the story. Yeah. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. This isn't a Dragon Ball Z talk. Okay.
I think they could have ended Naruto right after they beat Zabuza, like right there. Right there.
Yeah, just
that
like
would have been yeah.
It's like a good short story.
A month shot instead of a one shot. A month shot.
Yeah, a month shot.
A month shot. Okay. So you guys have given your. Do you think we have time for my example? I don't know. It's kind of we've been going on for a while.
You haven't given your example yet? I thought you did.
No, I haven't said anything. I've just been talking about your guys' examples.
Oh my god, I will sit here and listen to your example, but I don't know anyone else that will. Honestly, man. I am interested and I will listen to it, and I know you'll have like a good example to give, but are we gonna go with this?
I'll split the episode into two, maybe.
Okay, so what should I go with it then, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I think one of the huge pet peeves for me that hasn't been addressed yet is the complete emasculation of the character Minato. That one I have like a real problem with. The dude has essentially like done nothing, Like, he's like kind of armless right now. Wasn't really successful at, I can't think of a single thing. And
wait. The one thing he did was he took everyone from inside the barrier to out. Through Naruto's chakra thing. Like,
yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, okay.
He saved everyone.
But the point though is, dramatically speaking, he didn't really do anything that was like something only he could do that was really, really substantial, right? It's like, that's part of the problem. It's like, no, dude.
Isn't he kind of walking around right now, kind of?
Dude, it was revealed that the Shunshin Jutsu was created by the second Hokage. That was some serious horseshit. Because the very beginning of the series establishes the fourth to be like
the
best ninja ever. That's
best
how
Hokage ever.
That's how it's established. Like, out of all four of them, he was the most prodigious, the youngest Hokage to ever happen. He is Naruto's dad. He seals the Kyuubi, which is originally thought to be the biggest antagonist of the entire series. It's really, really, really painful to see him just completely turn to waste. And I think it made, and when I say that, the emasculation of Hokage, I mean, or of the fourth Hokage, I'm talking about like everything he was capable of, in the sense that he didn't even create the Shunshin no Jutsu, which means that that not only was he not the creator of it, he's not the only guy who can do it. And I think it would have been much more brilliant if Kishi had just developed the second Hokage as the creator of other things. Like, he freaking created Edo Tensei,
dude.
How much more, like, what else does he need to create that's more impressive than that? He should have been developed on his own. the fourth Hokage should have been the one that developed the Shunshin no Jutsu, and there should have been a substantial chunk of the story that was devoted to teaching Naruto how to do it too. Because if both Minato and Naruto were able to do the Shunshin no Jutsu, they both have blonde hair, so they both could have been the freaking Yellow Flash.
Well, but
right?
the thing is, like, before we got to that point, he already established that Naruto was fast enough just running and jumping to where it was almost like him doing that technique anyway.
Right, when he has the QB, like when he's able to infuse himself with the QB, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, is like, hasn't been able to use that in the war arc, right? Like he hasn't been able to actually make that useful because the technicalities of how the Shunshin no Jutsu works was able to do things like teleport yourself out of a barrier, right? That's lacking in terms of what Naruto's actually able to do.
Yeah.
And also, it would have been very, very key if, like, let's say we were discussing about how maybe the QB gets extracted out of Naruto. There could have been a very substantial conflict within the story in which Naruto is left to deal only with the things that he has been able to learn, not relying upon a beast within himself, which he could have still been substantially good at. He could have had Shunshin no Jutsu and Sage Mode, which could have been freaking so cool to see.
But he would have died if he lost it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's what you had to figure out through storytelling, right? How does he manage to survive? But I mean, how cool would it have been, right? If Naruto, if Minato's the only one who knows Shunshin no Jutsu, and Naruto also knows the jutsu because his dad teaches him, then it would have been much more profound when those two are the ones together, father and son, doing all the stuff that was necessary in order to defeat not only Madara, but help everyone within the war. It's like, that was like a huge mistake, in my opinion. And I think, just like, combat-wise speaking, like, I know Naruto's like, I know a lot of people say Naruto is like the strongest ninja, but I still feel like he's like just lacking in terms of technicality, right? Like the Sandaime, the third Hokage, was known as the Professor because he could literally do any jutsu that existed within the Leaf Village, right? And I felt like that's a pretty respectable thing that is kind of, I think, necessary to be really, really strong. Like you have to have a mind that is able to accept an array of things, not just your own thing. And I felt like Naruto might not necessarily need to have done that within the story, but I feel like it should have been alluded to that he has the capability and the mindset to want to do that in the first place, right? And I feel like mastering the Shunshin no Jutsu is one of those things that like would make you feel comfortable in the sense that he could do other things.
Well,
you know what I mean? Which because so far everything else that he knew, it was kind of like very specifically to him. You know what I mean? Like the Sage Mode thing and like him reading the scroll and knowing how to do Kagebunshin at a mass-produced level. Things that he could do only because he had an immense amount of chakra because of the Nine Tails. Like, Shunshin no Jutsu was something that his father learned. And in that sense, it's special to him as well, but it's still just a jutsu that his father created and learned. And I feel like
well, he already has a technique that his father created and learned that he actually even made better that his father couldn't. And that was before that Minato was like revealed to be weak in the war.
It's a good point. That's a very good point. But I'm just saying that the Shunshin no Jutsu would be an addition to that to reinforce that idea that I think is kind of lacking with Naruto still. And just think about how cool the combat would be if the dude is fucking in Sage Mode and it has those freaking cross eyes because of the fox, and he's just like, it would just be so rad if he just like created hundreds of clones of himself and they're just all teleporting at lightning speed. And like, and another thing what I was saying was like, I felt like it would have been really cool if he, okay, maybe this is asking too much if he mastered all the elements, but he should have at least mastered freaking water, because it was alluded to that most people have two elemental chakras. You have your primary one and your secondary one, and I think it was alluded to that he could do water, and he just never got around to it. And I think it would have been very cool to see him doing these sort of like Rasengan moves that infuse different types of elemental chakra, because I felt like Kishi was setting something up there, because like, it was crazy, right? When you think about it, the Raikiri, the Chidori that Sasuke does, right? Is very, very strong because it's a chakra manifested physical manifestation that also takes advantage of electricity, right? In the Rasengan,
and it was formed with him using the fire technique as well. Yeah.
And the Rasengan is so advanced in terms of just physical manipulation that it doesn't even need elemental manipulation to rival the Chidori's destructive power, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like that was already foreshadowing something. It's like, this thing, just with physical chakra manipulation, is this strong. I wonder what would happen if you put other shit in there. And so they do the wind...
The Rasen
Shuriken. But I feel like it would have been so cool if he mastered the elements, right? Because, I mean, the whole thing kind of alluded also to the fact that he's the sage, and the sage obviously controls all the elements, right?
Well,
so it would have been...
He's actually doing that, because remember, he took in the
Right,
Undertale
he took
beast, and he's doing
but
like
I'm
fire
saying
shit.
he should have done it himself.
Yeah,
It shouldn't have been some sort of magical gift that is just thrown upon him. It would have been so much more satisfying if he was able to do that.
Because that's
as he
uncharacteristic.
exponentially just keeps on getting stronger and stronger. Mm-hmm. And it just would have been so cool. Like, especially in this mass scale combat war where there's just like thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands of enemies, right? He's just freaking teleporting here and there at immense strength, just like huge Oldama Rasengans with like lots and lots of elemental, just freaking just destroying everything. That would be so rad, and I feel like people would have loved the shit out of it. And it's just really unfortunate that he never got around to doing that.
And also, he wouldn't even need to use like seal darts. He could just put a seal on each of his clones
and like teleport himself. I think I mentioned that before too. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it would have been crazy. He has all these cognitions, and whenever one's about to die, he could just teleport to his other cognition. It's just he'd be like,
and he'd be perfectly in sync too.
And I think I brought this up before when I was just discussing with you guys, and you guys said that it would be overpowered. But that's the whole point. Is like you want to overpower the main character because whatever he's facing is going to be even more overpowered. And though I think honestly, you didn't even need Kaguya for this stuff. Like these characters were immortal. These enemies were immortal. So this is kind of what he needed to take them on, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's like that was one of my. I felt like those were all kind of interconnected, even though it's all. I think it all stems from the fact that, like, I don't know, for whatever reason, Minato has turned useless and doesn't teach his son.
I will one up you on this, and I will say not only Minato, but every single one of those Kages were fucking useless when they were brought back. Like they were all trash. Like Hashirama did nothing. The guy that originally beat Madara did nothing. Like second Hokage, like he couldn't even. Dude, he pretty much lost to Obito. Like he couldn't do shit against Obito. Oh my god! Like those were all just a disappointment. Like
yeah, I feel like the mistake was that he didn't develop Tobirama enough, and so in order to make him relevant. Within the story, he decided, okay, how about Tobirama develop the Shinshin no Jutsu? And so he has to do these things with Minato. And now he's relevant to the war. But I think it cost him a much more profound development, which would have been Naruto should have learned it too. Yeah. In my opinion. But yeah, that's, I think that's my main, not main pet peeve, but a pretty huge one that stands out to me that I think could have been really, really cool to see in the war. But unfortunately we didn't. Well, John, what do you think?
I think at this point, just because of where we are, I've totally lost interest in abilities. Like, we know Naruto and Sasuke are strong, and I don't know. Personally, I never would have brought back the Kages and had them fight. I think the part of their allure and part of why I love the mythology of Naruto is because so much of it is left to the imagination.
Yeah.
Or was. Like, I loved the idea of, oh my god, like the founders of this Hidden Leaf Village were just so incredible, and we only know snippets, but we'll never see them actually fight, which is cool in a way. But, you know, as Justin said, it's disappointing to see them underused. And yeah, I personally, I don't care if, as far as what you were saying with Naruto, I never cared if he got the Yellow Flash ability. And yeah, that's just me though. And at this point, abilities mean nothing because
it's
they
just
have
like,
the seal. They have the seal power, and that's all they need.
The only thing that matters to them now is like their god powers they have. It's god powers, quote unquote. You know,
which is unfortunate. I mean, if this was still ninjas versus ninjas, then I would care much more.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of what I'm saying though, right? I think that is implied with these sort of abilities that you would accept is that we would never have gotten to this god thing in the first place. Like these like extreme. I think what I was suggesting with these abilities is kind of logical, right? In the sense that it makes sense as abilities
it makes sense
that were developed within this world, within the Naruto world. And so I think it's assuming that you wouldn't be dealing with like Kaguya, you would have been dealing with an immortal Madara. And I think that would have been, I don't know.
But since that seems to be like, you know, he was planning for this for a while, if they had done a bunch of stuff before this that was still like strictly in the ninja world, like the pain versus pain thing, like I felt fear because Naruto could legitimately die and people legitimately died, but now it's just, I don't know. It's just gods v gods.
And like
in this crazy other dimension, so
and like Naruto like reviving people like that, he could just do that to Sasuke, you know, like as long as Naruto's alive, they can't lose. Like.
Yeah. The fear of mortality, which is probably one of the most intriguing things out of any narrative, is kind of gone. You know what I mean?
It's gone. It is gone.
Yeah, and it's like, and that ruins everything, I think, in my opinion.
Like no matter how badass the bad guy they make, like Naruto and Sasuke are just gonna be fine. Like, and you know, like it's like even other than the fact that they're main characters, it's like if they weren't main characters and they were given these skill sets, I would have no like doubt that they're gonna survive. You know, like that's just how I don't know. It's not cool.
What do you?
And to me, like it doesn't even seem like Kaguya wants their death. It seems like she just wants their
chakra,
their livelihood. She
wants their chakra, and then wants them to be hooked up to the Tsukiyomi, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It would have been nice, I guess, to see.
Let me just spill some Japanese-ish on you guys because I'm Japanese, so I understand.
All right, last point, and then we gotta wrap it probably.
So Minato Namikaze, right? That's Naruto's dad. Minato means harbor, and Namikaze means wind. So Nami means wave, as in like an ocean's wave, and Kaze means wind. So he's wave wind, right? So that's water and wind, and it's like. I was saying the thing about the whole elemental thing with Naruto. It's like, I feel like that kind of alludes and implies to the fact that he should have been a master of the storm.
All the elements.
I would prefer all the elements, but at least the storm, right? The storm, the idea of the wind and the water, which is
he was halfway there.
Which is the perfect juxtaposition with Sasuke's power, which is lightning and fire.
Yeah.
Right?
So the other two elements.
I don't understand why Kishi didn't go through with that. It just seems like he was setting that up. I don't understand why he didn't bother with it, but yeah.
And those are like all like the counter elements to each other.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
It would have been a sexy, but
honestly, yeah, I have to go with John in this. I am not too like disappointed with like the techniques he knows, like because he knows like.
I think they're basically irrelevant at this point.
Yeah, he knew
except for Rasengan.
Shitload of techniques like that were all beasts. Like the Rasen Shuriken was like on another level. Nobody else in that universe could do anything.
I know,
like
man.
That. Like,
at that point, that shit was like jizz-worthy, man.
And like even the Kage Bunshin is still just so relevant. Like I love how relevant it still is. Like, and then like Sage mode is tight. Like I feel like he's like stacked. Like any more techniques that he would have got would have been just like. Another like whatever cool you can have another gadget for Batman to use. Like Batman's already OP, but he's got another.
It's a pretty good gadget though, man.
Yeah, it is,
and it's not just that it's good; it's meaningful too, in the sense that that's the moniker that his father had, and the whole thing about his character was like I've got I don't know who my parents are. Everyone hates me. I'm worthless. And then when he finds out that his father was the fourth Hokage, it's like this huge catharsis for the character, right? Yeah. And so it just makes sense that his character would take on the moniker of his dad. It's not just about the ability, which I think the ability is freaking tight. Especially considering this whole thing is like about space-time jutsu. And what the hell, man? Now that I think about it, Sasuke has the Shunshin no Jutsu right now, right? That's one of the powers he unlocked. He's able to like teleport at thin air. Like, what the fuck, man?
He does?
Yeah, he has the ability. And like Naruto's the one who should have it right now, in my opinion, but
I'm sorry, I did not see that anywhere.
There's a point in the most recent chapters where Sasuke was about to fall into the lava, and he teleports and runs into Naruto instead. And Naruto says, "Oh yeah, I forgot you have the teleportation jutsu."
No. I thought Naruto saved him.
Yeah, because he's about to hit the lava,
Naruto can fly,
and he teleports and runs into Naruto.
Huh?
Yeah. I don't remember.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's not just that it's strong; it's also that it's meaningful. That's the argument I'm making. But yeah. But I mean, all this is given under the context that like you adjust for the fact that he has that power. You know what I mean? Like I understand you guys are saying that it's irrelevant because he has the QB thing and he can do all these other things. But it's like you add this, and then so you make that QB relevant to the power he has. You gotta keep on developing on top of that. You don't just
I think if Kishi had chosen to go down the path of Naruto will lose the QB, then it would have been nice for him to have that.
Yeah, which he should have. He should have gone that way.
Should have. In that case, then I would have been more on board. But now, to me, it seems kind of just like it's kind of like it's just like frosting.
And it would be like logical that the Jubi was complete at that point. You know, somehow something happens, story, plot, development, blah blah blah. Naruto survives the QB getting drawn out of him, and now he's reliant on all the skills that he learned, like outside of QB powers, and like. Yeah, and then it would also tie in with like Killer Bee sacrificing himself, like, oh my god, bro, and like Jubi's back. Now it makes sense that the Jubi's back instead of the Jubi's just back somehow. Like, all right, I'm with it. It flows.
It's too bad, like I couldn't have been with Kishi, just like helping him out.
Yeah, you couldn't just be like,
shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, I got these ideas. You can take them. It's cool.
John, please go and like find where he lives, and we'll go pay him a visit.
Yeah. Hire us. You need us.
Okay. That was a very, very long.
Wow. Yeah. Well, we kind of had a lot of material to talk about. Like a lot. So
we did.
That'll conclude this week's episode of the Buggy-sama Fan Club. And we originally talked about how we were going to do Bleach and Naruto this week, and that did not even happen in the slightest because we talked about a shitload of Naruto that it was like pent up rage and emotions inside of us that we had to let loose upon you. And yeah, we talked about a lot of random shit. I
think now we'll be able to kind of keep up a little better with the chapters. So.
Yeah, hopefully.
So stay tuned.
I think next week we're gonna see, obviously, like Obito becoming a factor. I think I'm actually gonna call this right now. We're gonna see Sasuke or Sakura becoming like a mini factor and then just instantly getting pulled out of the equation again. Because that's like that is seriously like Kishi's favorite thing to do in this entire series. Like, oh look, Sakura's here. Nope, yank. Like, dude, that's gonna happen. I think Naruto's just pretty much gonna get beat up on some more. I think Sasuke's like fucked because he's the only one in the other dimension, right? Everyone else is in the snow world and he's the only one in that desert world, and he's sweating.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Obito's about to show up, maybe.
And maybe be with Sasuke on the other side, you know? Maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good call. It's a good call.
He's gonna put his kamuis into Sasuke's eyes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Jesus
and
Christ.
Gonna make ultimate, mega, eternal Mangekyo.
Like the strongest Sharingan you can possibly get.
Super Saiyan 3 Sharingan. Sasuke's gonna have long hair, no eyebrows.
Thank you for listening, and stay tuned next week. We'll be back with a lot more shit. We're probably going to focus a lot on Bleach and One Piece next week, and it's going to be awesome. And thank you for listening. It's your boy Jahan with Alex and Johnny. Special shout out to Kishi for giving us a shitty story at this point so we can talk a shitload about it and talk mad shit about this shitty story. Special shout outs to our special guest in Japan, John Garcia, for tuning in with us.
Let's go some of this.
Special shout outs to the air conditioning for working in my room and we're not like dying. And thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Come get some tacos.
Yeah, Taco San Pedro without you, John. We're going to Taco San Pedro without you, all right? And
don't rub it in, man.